Alrighty then, so I'm gonna go ahead and end that awesome song, and go ahead and start. This is game 3 today of the tournament, and let us see. This is a Jesus. They just told me it is Team Paragon on purple versus Team Bok Choy Bros. Apparently, something like that. No way that sounds right. But at any rate, we are going to go ahead and get it going. Game 3 here today on the m1lkcast tournament. We are just cruising through these games. I think this is overall like the 9th or 10th game we've seen. So far, Team Poop seems to be the team to beat. It would be great to see if the winner of this game could maybe play them later on today. I will be casting, by the way, for yet, like, Jesus, I don't even know. Got to be somewhere at 7:30. Which is in 6.5 hours. So maybe I'll cast for the next 5 hours, then do the whole, get my swag on, and then head out. But anyway, 1 p.m. here in Hong Kong. I am organizing these games. Generally, we start around 11 p.m., aka close to midnight EST, which for me is 11 a.m. And today was no different. Started the stream up, got a couple games going. It is awesome to see this tournament coming together. It is a little bit misleading to call it a tournament. I realized it is more of a season. So really what I've modeled this tournament on, sorry, not a tournament, season. What I've modeled this, I guess, event on, initiative, is that obviously Kaiser Wilhelm and I doing a lot of in-house games last week, and then we realized, wouldn't it be cool if we made a tournament? So no, it's not a tournament though. It is a event, a initiative, a project, if you will. But it is based off of the sort of European league, football, soccer leagues, where so you have like 30, 40, I don't know how many teams exactly. Each team plays each other 2 times over the course of a year, a season. And then every time they win, they get 1 point. Every time they lose, they get nothing. So overall, each match between the 2 teams is worth a total of 2 points. You can either win both matches for 2 points, tie, go 1 point in one game, 1 point in the other game, and that's 1-1. Or of course, you can lose. So yeah. Anyway, I think this is game 8, 9, 10, something like that. We've seen a lot of them. It's going to be interesting. At the early stages, the leaderboards are sort of a little meaningless because everyone who has won has 1 point, and everyone who has so far lost a game has no points. So it's really going to become interesting when you have, like a team who's won 3 games loses to a team who's won 3 games, and then it's like suddenly you kind of get this picture of like who the teams to beat is. So far, I'm going to go ahead and say that really I have my eyes on Team Poop. They've done just such an awesome job. You can really see the amount of coordination they have. Lots of grouping up, lots of early team fights, so much dragon control, so much buff control, sort of taking a lesson from N5. Not so much winning team fights by just like getting a gold advantage and then 45 minutes in the game having like a mechanically flawless team fight where they peel and initiate and counter and do all this crazy stuff or get a pick, but instead just kind of really actually snowballing every game they've played in so far. I think they're 3-0. Just a fantastic job. I think that's Mr. Laws being like, oh, I'm blushing. Yep, there we go. Dosh shucks. Anyway, so Cotton Milk Star League is the name Kaiser Wilhelm suggests. Bok Choy, I think, wanted to co-cast, but it seems like he might be having some problems. By the way, guys, oh, that ain't good. So it looks like we're going to do the picks and bans and then maybe go ahead and make this a blind pick game because it seems like the Pantheon is glitching. Maybe why he has Clarity Heal. This isn't an all random all mid, friend. At any rate, assuming that pick is legit, could be solo top, could be Jungle Panth. Jungle Panth obviously ganks so hard with his targeted long duration stun and lots of damage and that execute move when they get below 16% health. Sorry, 15% health. So it could be a Pantheon jungle, could be solo top, could be solo mid. Very good counter pick against weaker AP mids. Someone like a Karthus. I think you do a decent enough job. Maybe not Karthus, but there are a select few number of champs where you really want to run that AD mid just to shut them down. That spear shot does so much damage on such a short cooldown, and obviously not a whole lot of AP mids, especially at lower elos. Non high level play. How many AP mids can you think of who have a armor yellows page? Not a whole lot. I think I do have one magic penetration page with armor yellows, but I very rarely use it, and I kind of regret buying the rune page for that because it rarely comes in handy. But if you do go against something like a Pantheon mid, very scary because for the first for a long time at the start of that game you are going to be very weak. Good counterpicks. A lot of people say that someone like a Morgana gets dumped on by Talon Pantheon. I don't really think that's the case because she synergizes so well with an early chain vest. She has lots of sustain, and if you pick up that armor, she becomes very hard to kill. And then, you know what she does? She just builds it into her Janya's. So I really think that the champs who get wrecked by 80 mids are not only the champions who, are kind of low armor, but also the people who are never even planning to pick up an armor item. Especially when they start the game with that squishy 16 armor and then a Talon Rake or Pantheon Spear Shot just wrecks them. At any rate, I think we're gonna go ahead and okay. So it looks like Pantheon's glitch is fixed. It does look like it's gonna be a jungle panth. Of course, lots of bugs here in the Hecarim patch, so it is always an option to go ahead and remake these games. However, this time around, not going to be necessary. So we do see final picks here for Blue Team and Purple. Didn't actually have a chance to go over the ban champions. They did ban Cass and Rise, which could be because those champions, of course, do a little bit better against the Pantheon pick if he goes mid, but he does have that smite picked up. Might be Kennen mid. York is definitely going top, so I guess jungle Pantheon. Support Lulu, supporting the Caitlyn. Olaf probably going to go top. Nocturne in the jungle. Soraka and Ashe bot, and then Morgana being picked up. Blackthorn Morgana, obviously the new skin, not yet released. However, and then just by the way, the other bands we missed: Lee Sin, Shen, Alistair, Shaco. I don't think we've seen a whole lot from these teams, so it seems that those are just kind of like bands, we're kind of afraid of these champs, so we're going to get rid of them. Kennen still has smite. Kennen still has smite. Oh, you trolls. You trolls. Actually, you've seen it a lot. I don't know if that is, in fact, the players trolling me, or if it is just a glitch for the spectator mode, because it's always a last second switch. Anyway, this recording is going to be posted on youtube.com/m1lkcast along with all the other recordings. Oh, that reminds me, I should probably go start this off. Team Poop. Great team, terrible name. Looks like this VOD is already up. I just want to make sure. Yep, okay, good. Mention about I did get in here. I think I am going to solo cast this time around. I do love co-casting, but I think right now I'm kind of doing a decent enough job, I think. So, yeah. I do like these VODs I'm able to put up online, though, that say featuring so-and-so. Person in person. Anyway, by the way, while we are waiting for the next minute and 30 seconds or so, I'm going to have a lot of time to analyze exactly the lane matchups once we get in lane, get in game. I think this guy's trying to guilt trip me, and it's working. So, let's see here. Go. What was I going to say? Anyway, obviously these two teams, we haven't seen them play yet, but they are teams who recently signed up for this league. Notice how I didn't say tournament. m1lkcast Star League, beautiful name for a it's not a tournament. Ugh! It's a league. Anyway, very nice name for a league. So if you have 4 friends and you'd like to sign up, go ahead and join the m1lkcast IRC. On QuakeNet, there is of course a web IRC link in our on our website, m1lkcast.com, or join the Reddit in-house channel, or add Kaiser Wilhelm, Kaizer. Here he is at the bottom of the screen. And you can go ahead and send him your team info, and then we will start putting you up against other teams. Not every game will be casted. However, why are you spamming my Skype name? Why are you spamming my Skype name? Now I'm going to get a million friend requests because I'm so super cool. At any rate, we are going to get a game going. We're going to get in the game now. Of course, we do have that 3-minute delay as spectators, but it looks like it should be over now. Okay, then. Just waiting on that friend request on Skype from Mr. Legendary Bok Choy. And then we're going to get things going here. So this is game 3. That doesn't sound right. I don't feel like I've already casted 3 games today. I think that was the first one, no? Anyway, in my old age, my memory just ain't what it used to be. So, looks like we are going to see Caitlyn and Lulu down bot. Very kind of pokey lane. Soraka a very sustaining lane. And really, sustain beats poke. Poke beats burst. Burst beats sustain. And the reasoning is poke can just kind of like never engage against burst unless it's on their terms. So someone like a Graves, if Graves is up in the base of Caitlyn, he can out damage her. However, if Caitlyn is taking a auto attack every 3 or 4 seconds, especially with that headshot passive, Graves is eventually going to be so low that he can't go all in, because burst is all about going all in. However, against a sustain lane like Soraka Ashe, sort of, every time Kate just gets like an auto attack in, Soraka is just going to use that Astral Blessing and heal up to full. So, what's the point? And then, of course, burst. You can't really sustain against burst because it happens in an instant. It's burst. So Legend Bok Choy says he added me, and I don't see it.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Anyway, a summoner has disconnected 30 seconds into the game, the earliest DC we've seen so far. I would rather it happened 30 seconds into the game than 30 minutes into the game, as we have seen in some other games. I'm not even going to go into that because it is a little bit controversial still. A couple of old wounds can be opened up if I start talking about that. Anyway, Lulu has DC. She didn't even have the utility mastery. Hopefully she's coming back, and she is back. So, 15 spell penetration. That is a normally high amount of spell pen. Obviously, if you just run reds, you're going to get 9. So I believe this is reds plus quints. So we shall see. Not something you really see every day. 6% CDR and 15 flat spell pen. You might want to go and like pick up Merc Treads, but I mean, that Ashe with the consecration passive from Soraka is just going to have so much MR. I just don't think that Lulu is going to be doing any magic damage. No MR runes being picked up, no armor runes being picked up. Legend Bok Choy. The Legend Bok Choy is still not adding me on friends, so I think I am going to go ahead and solo cast this one. Skype does have a little bit of lag in that regard. Soraka, by the way, did pick up Clairvoyance, which is going to be, we might see, there's the Clairvoyance going down. They know he started at red. I think we're going to might want to be a little bit careful, especially around level 2, level 3, because Kennen, of course, once he gets his W, can charge up that passive and he's landed Q, and then just at level 2 can put a stun down, and then Pantheon, of course, can also put that stun down. However, does not look like they're going to wait for level 2. Instead, just going to go in. Pantheon here throws off the spear. So much damage coming down, but not going to get the jump. So, Yorick versus Olaf up top. Yorick is, I think, just the most frustrating solo top in the game. And again, to a degree, so is Olaf. So, they can frustrate each other up there. But Yorick, with that absurd AI on the minions, will chase enemy champions. It's just the dumbest thing Riot has ever done with a champion release. Look at that! I hate it! I hate it so much. No one likes playing against Yorick. It's just so frustrating. He has like this huge sticky slow, and the minions just stick to you like glue. And then he also has a crazy amount of sustain. And actually, he has ignite. I would have wanted to see York go all in there. I think certainly could have picked up a kill on Olaf, or at least forced him to ghost away. Which I think is a good trade, because when you have a Pantheon jungle, blowing any summoner spells is going to be so strong. Down bot. So we should, I think, see Caitlyn sort of win the lane. However, I think Ashe, with that initiation potential late game, super strong. And let's see, they do have Pantheon. Oh, and wow, just taking so much damage because she only has 29 armor. However, now Caitlyn putting some harass of her own down on the Ashe. So, just a little bit slow here. Oh, and I missed yet another gank, but that is almost certainly going to be first blood. If they can get the slow, there's the slow. Just one auto attack away. Flashes in, there's the ignite, very nicely done. So, I did miss the Pantheon gank because there was a little bit of action going down bot. However, Ashe still taken actually quite low, forced to use her heal. Heal also coming off the hands of Lulu. Flashing in, might be able to pick up a kill here. If she gets at 20 health, the survivor with just 14 health. So very wise, by the way. Caitlyn had started popping that potion quite a while ago. If she didn't, would have certainly been a kill. Can I get this off? Oh, and Morg missing the binding. Almost certainly going to be a kill here. Wow, Morg's shield is yellow for me. Kennen didn't use his ignite. Very poor play from him. That is something that you need to do when you're at range, because obviously the ignite is very short range, so you can't use it as a finisher. Certainly would have been a kill on Morgana had they got that down. Anyway, York has now picked up his Tear of the Goddess and boots and a ward. This is the stage where, Jesus, 4 minutes into the game and York's about to become unstoppable, because all he ever does is just spam that E, which heals him for 40% of the damage dealt, like a minimum of 40 health pretty much. So you cast it 5 times, so you cast it 4 times and you have a free health bot, and then later on the game it scales so well and you're just healing for like 150 health per spell, plus it chases the enemy, plus you slow the enemy, plus you become an unkillable god, and just ugh. Anyway, we shall see how Olaf does actually, because you know, I guess maybe the combination of true damage and the vicious strikes, which it looks like he's maxing, maybe I think Olaf might be one of the better champs against York, because he can just kind of sit there and take it and use that. You know, York doesn't really necessarily have a whole lot of burst, especially if he maxes his E over his Q. Q, I think, doing most damage in his kit. However, obviously, the only spell he has, which is truly melee range. So we shall see how Olaf is able to handle this. York doesn't look like he's putting, doesn't look like he's using his reckless swing. Someone's going low. Who is it? Could be Pantheon in the jungle. Nope. Could be Nocturne in the jungle. Nope. Who is it? Nocturne moving in for a gank up top. He is spotted on the ward. He might be able to get in there. Nocturne, of course, having a lot of CC, tags in with a Q. However, a little bit of misplay there, going straight into that rush. Might have actually been a kill. Had he, it is going to be a kill. Anyway, very nice ignite from Olaf that time around. Unlike the cannon, kind of, I think, waited for it earlier. Might see an ulti from Morg, but no. A little bit of misplay there, because a very nice stun from Cannon is able to keep her at range. Oh, but very, very good bait. Pantheon actually missing the spear. And wow! Morg able to pick up the kill there on Cannon. I don't know why he didn't use his ulti. This doesn't seem to be, you know, as high of a level of play in terms of the mechanics. It would be great if these teams could both maybe turn in and watch the VOD, maybe see just what I perceive as a couple mistakes. By the way, it does look like this Soraka is running scaling MR, which I think is very smart, because Soraka gives you some very good flat MR to get you through the early game, and by running that scaling MR you can just transition very nicely into late game. Is there going to be a smite steal here? Pantheon is switched back off. Nocturne is level 6, he's only level 5, and the camp resets. So Ashe is in position. Also gets a nice slowdown onto Caitlyn. However, doesn't have that arrow to engage in. Looking at the gold right now, Ashe does have 1,500 gold in her inventory. 51 CS at 7 minutes. Oh wow, and the smite steal goes off from Pantheon. Really, you're going to want to pull it into this brush. It was awarded, but pulling into this brush means they can't smite it over that wall. They have to go the long way around. What that means is you can put your AP mid here, pull it in here, and then if they would want to steal it, they'd have to, your AP mid would know So, nice play from Pantheon to put down that ward there ahead of time. Obviously, if you know they start blue, put down the ward before 7 minutes 20. If you know they start red, put down the wards down before 7 minutes 20. And you can really just maybe even pick up a free buff with your smite, because obviously the enemy jungler is not going to smite it because they want to give it to the enemy mid. So once it gets down to that kind of threshold, Ashe going down very low. Caitlyn ult goes off. Oh, and so much damage coming off. No, actually, Caitlyn had her. Oh, she's running Ghost, not Flash. I was actually debating this the other day. If you have someone like an Olaf, very smart, I think, to pick up Ghost. I think people put too much emphasis on the power of Flash. But I was going to say, if she had Flash there, she had that passive built up. Her headshot deals a significant amount of damage. Ooh! 3 health, I want to say? Maybe 4? That would have been great if it was a kill. Unfortunately, those minions did get in the way. That's her Q. Piltover Peacemaker does deal 50% damage per target it hits, sort of like an Ezreal ulti, down to 40% reduced. Sorry, 60% reduced damage, 40% total damage. So it would have certainly been a kill on that Soraka, who, how much armor is she running? 43. Not the most. However, that Soraka is now level 6. They did give Yorick blue. Thank you for that. Didn't give it to Kennen, who is, of course, Manaless, and Pantheon, I guess, already has one, which he just smited. Kaiser Wilhelm giving me the pro tips as I look down here. Bot. Nocturne, of course, level 6, has a red buff. Ashe, level 6, has an arrow. Doesn't have boots. I think maybe what Ashe might have wanted to do would be to go back. However, does Nocturne know? They know that they're gone, so Nocturne wasting a little bit of time. Would have liked to see them engage onto that Lulu and pick up a free kill. She is not so tanky because of her spell pen. Looks like the gank is going in mid. Man, casting with a Nocturne ulti is just a dream because you can say something's about to happen. And anyway, we do see Pantheon kind of poking around. Gets picked up. I don't know if he actually did get picked up. He did fall back, maybe picked up by that ward up top. However, he can sneak in the long way, maybe, although there is also a ward here. So he might just be able to sneak in this way. But he, of course, isn't going to know that because he doesn't know what I know. And no one really does that, anticipating a ward in that rush. I'm not such a fan of this ward for Morgana. Not going to give her protection against someone maybe going around. I like to put down the ward here or here to give you a little bit more warning. Ashe is doing a nice job of perma-slowing the Caitlyn, making her run away. No one really wants to fight that because if you suddenly, if you just sit there and have an auto-attack fight with Ashe and realize you're behind, she can just, like, continue chasing and you can't really disengage. So right now the CS is 66 on Caitlyn to 69 on Ashe. In terms of mechanics, it looks like both players are very evenly matched. However, up top we do see 48 on Olaf to 64 on Yorick, who now has that tier. Stacked it already up to 150. I'm gonna get that very nicely. Pantheon looks like he's waiting for an ulti down bot lane. Caitlyn's putting a lot of damage down there. I think Pantheon's just waiting around in the river, maybe trying to get a ulti off. Would be great to see a team go for Dragon. I think Yorick has the advantage that he could maybe push, force the Yorick back, force the Olaf back, push the wave into his turret, and then instead go back. As Olaf's heading top, Yorick heads to Dragon, and then if the the red team wants to fight it, they can force a 4v5. Fine, it misses, and it just uses that ball of energy, that lightning rush, to get away. I love how Kaiser Wilhelm is watching my stream, giving me tips, and Legend Bokchoy is in spectator mode. Skype hasn't yet picked up a friend request from him, so I will be solo casting. However, they're both sending me private messages saying, "Psst, Pantheon's about to get top," which he is. This would also be a good time for Red to go ahead and take that dragon, because they have just some Pantheon top. So maybe Ashe able to push, maybe gonna want to push out bot and then go let Nocturne slip in. Oh wow! I just said there was a gank and I looked away. How did that kill go down? The Ashe connects, gonna be a kill, almost certainly. Although Lulu saving the life of Caitlyn, and that Ghost That is a very, very, very funny animation. Just the combination of it being so large and the combination of it being so fast is hilarious. Ooh, and Ash gets the perma slow down. However, Kennen is coming in. No, backs off. I'm not sure about that idea. However, that silence, I guess, just really taking away your control is so scary. Stepping on a K-trap. A nice shield. However, Soraka should have her silence back up now. So, anyway. Oh, and Morgana able to find Kennen as he goes back up lane. That is, if you see your lane roam, and you don't kind of follow them, it does put you, at sort of a disadvantage. However, what you can do to make up for it is waiting in one of the brushes for them to return to lane, because very rarely do people go the long way around to get back to their safety. They're just like, oh yeah, I just got a gank. Oh, I blew all my spells. I blew my ignite. I blew my flash. I blew everything, but I got the kill. Oh, what is this? A binding coming at me from a brush, and now I'm dead. So anyway, if you guys want a little bit of a tip for AP mids, you see someone roam, especially this brush right here. No one ever expects it at lower LOs. So we do see Kennen has gone for the Sork shoes. Has a total of 28 spell pen. Morgana only has 30 MR, so this could be good for Kennen. I think that he might even be able to fold a Zero Morg with one full spell combo, especially if he gets a little bit, a couple shurikens down first. And yeah, really, only this is actually one of the more even games we've seen. Very low amounts of gold on both teams. Only 16k at the 15-minute mark. No turrets, no dragons, no real kills. Only 3 to 5. Couple great jungle ganks. Nocturne has been a part of 4 kills on his team out of 5. Pantheon being part of every kill so far on his team. So Pantheon doing a great job to really get in there in the action. Smiting away that blue buff. This time Yorick doesn't need it because of course he has a 1100 mana pool and that mana Mune. It looks like he's doing a fine job staying up here against Olaf. Not really putting the hurt down, but able to stay alive. Yorick, of course, a laner who doesn't really lose lane. He just always throws down his harass and is a pain in the tushy to deal with. So, really what I'd like to see from Red Team, I think, is that they do actually have the dominant team fighting comp. They have Ashe, Arrow, Mortal, Nocturne, Pantheon ulti is not so strong in teamfights. It's more used for the ganks and the surprise. So I think Red Team, especially since they have a little bit more gold onto their Morgana, who's very dominant early game, might be interesting to watch. Thank you, Bok Choi. I'm going to switch over to the point of view of Blue Team because they don't know Nocturne's up in this brush. He does have his ulti up, however, Olaf is pushing bot lane very hard. I don't know. Oh, Pantheon, this is good. Nocturne is around to stop this Pantheon gang. Gonna go in on the Pantheon instead of the Olaf. Olaf maybe gonna be able to fight to the death. No, they split their focus. Nocturne went in on the Panth, and Olaf went in on the Noc. I would have probably gone for Pantheon. That is gonna be a kill. Pantheon is 401 right now. Very, very dominant gangs coming up from this Pantheon jungle. Oh, and looks like someone's going low down bot. It's Ashe. Ooh, Caitlyn getting stunned in turret range. I think shouldn't really use that ulti. Nice flash. Sorry, I just realized I'm still on Red Team's point of view. Ooh, and it looks so close. And that what is that? Glitter Lance? Yeah. No, Whimsy. Sorry. Glitter Lens is the one that shoots out Q, which she's not maxing. She's maxing her shield and secondary maxing Whimsy, but so fast able to run away. Caitlyn with a ghost and Lulu with a speed boost is quite a good pick against Olaf because you really want to kite the duration of his ulti. It only lasts for 6 seconds, and if you just run away and then CC him when that ulti ends, you can really do work. However, 5 to 5, Morg doing a great job. However, Pantheon just such a dominant jungler early game. Does look like he has the most gold in the game. No, not quite. Yorick has more because of his CS, sitting at 5,000 gold just about, and that looks like it's the top position. Bot lane, Pantheon is moving in for a gank. He has that red buff. Can he get the slow? Caitlyn is ghosting in. Gets the slowdown on the Soraka actually. They do deal primarily magic damage. Oh, and Pantheon actually backed out. Ooh, and it looks like Kate in a little bit of trouble. Almost certainly going to go down here. Nice shield, though. However, not going to be enough. Oh, and Pantheon, I believe, just spear-shotted a minion. Oh, and that Lulu ult is so close to being on cooldown. Is it going to come off? It's so clutch! It's so clutch! Yes! There it is. Very nicely done for Pantheon. By the way, for those who don't know, Pantheon's passive, every time he casts every 4 spell casts, able to get a spell shield, a physical attack block. And Ash, I guess, just figured that Pantheon would die. I was watching that Lulu ulti. It came down right to the wire. So very close. Excellent play from Pantheon to say, if I keep running, I'm going to die. If I turn around, get some auto attacks and some spellcasts down, I'm going to get my passive up. That's going to let Lulu put another shield on me. And then it was like, dun dun, dun dun. And the cooldown on that was just ticking away and ticking away and ticking away. And then all of a sudden you see Hugify come out from the hands of Lulu. And that was just so incredibly close. One of the closest things I've ever seen in an in-house so far. That was just absurdly close. That's really, you know, this new spectator mode, by the way, is going to have instant replays. I would love to go back and take a look at something like that at the end of the game. I think my new casting style, when that new spectator mode comes out, which, by the way, I'm very excited for, I'm not going to do instant replays, but, you know, as you just saw Kaiser Wilhelm say 1830 Pants Shield OP, going back to 18 minutes and 30 seconds in the game and to spend a couple seconds analyzing that is going to be so very valuable to casters. And it looks like now Blue Team is going to use this advantage and go for a dragon. So very nice play down bot. Pantheon still has not died, if you would believe it. Part of every single kill on his team. These games are just so strong right now. Purple Team, the gold isn't actually spread out as evenly. Nocturne doing a very good job. He's been part of 5 of the 6 kills. That's actually very nice because it shows that the lanes are very even in skill. If one lane is just killing the lane opponent, it could mean that a jungler gank snowball, but oftentimes it just happens in and of itself. Looks like Lulu this time doesn't have the Panther round to shield her. Caitlyn just doesn't have the damage to output. I was looking because Nocturne is up top and Morgana was approaching mid. There's the Nocturne ulti going down on a Yorick, and he is gonna be forced to flash away. Does pop his ulti. Looks like he might want to go back in and just get a couple of E's and W's down from range. Quite safe. Olaf and Nocturne. Nocturne only has that one gap closer, and Pantheon might actually jump in here. I don't know if it's the right decision because Yorick tends to pop his skills. However, he does have so much sustain. Dragon is down, so there's really no reason for Pan to go bot, and he looks like he is going to be able to find Q. Oh wow, starting with the E actually. I think not the best play from Koi Fishy. Gonna get the spear shot out. Almost certainly gonna be a kill here. There it is. Picked up by Yorick. Once again, Pantheon's proving that he is so dominant of a jungler with these early game ganks. Really in a position he wants to be in right now. 6k gold, so a 1.2k lead over the enemy jungler. Pantheon really doesn't farm very hard, but he ganks so much harder than Nocturne. And sorry, who is that? That's Kenna going low. Pantheon going to use his man drop to get in there. Some nice damage. Morg actually gets the catalyst proc. This could be trouble for Pantheon. No, he does take a lot of his health, but he is going to safely be able to back off. So I think a very lucky, I want to say lucky, catalyst level up from Morgana. Kennen having a lot of trouble here. Really 0-4-1 as Kennen. Should be a lot safer, shouldn't stick around Morg, should sit behind the comfort of his own creeps. It's just, when you're 0-4, stop trying to fight, please. You have a lot of team fight utility, just farm up, get some good items, build a little bit of defense. It is nice to see he is picking up the Rylai's, which I think is smart. Rylai's with around 500 health, I think maybe 460 health total from the Rylai's, gives you lots of anti-burst, and then of course with that Woda you have a lot of sustain. So he should be quite healthy in lane. I don't really like to see Morgana's pick up a Rod of Ages because you do want a lot of AP. You do want to be survivable. However, I think a Johnny's Hourglass is a much better choice than a Rod of Ages because it's good. Anyway, Kennen, looks like it's like, just stop going in, Kennen. It has not worked for you yet so far. And I mean, he's not really playing to his strengths. When you are this behind, it's like what are you expecting? You know, I believe Einstein said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. If that is the case, Kennen seems to be a little bit insane in the membrane, because that is now his 5th death, where he's just kind of gotten in melee range of Morgana. Really, that is a mistake you often see at lower levels of play, and I would encourage Kennen to maybe watch this VOD and just, you know, especially when you don't have any wards. Sorry, looks like a 3v1 gank going down up top. Morg is around. Morg does have her ulti, misses the bind. Nice juke there from Sleepy Step. However, not even going to have to use that ulti to secure the kill. Just picking up an assist off of the auto attacks alone. And this should be, they push down mid, they push down bot, they push down top. Should be, ooh, and Oracle's picked up by Lulu. I think Ash with the IE, the arrow goes out. A very, very late exhaust. I would like to see their, oh, and a nice Pantheon ult. No? Cancelled? He did cancel that ulti. Lots of damage going down on Soraka. Someone's losing on Oracles here. Soraka, Lulu able to get the glitter lens down. Nice job from Pantheon, not going to steal that. That is actually, by the way, Pantheon has lost his perfect jungle score. I guess you could say he was part of that, but really didn't pick up an assist. So now he has 8 assists to the 9 kills of the team. Looks like Red Team actually in the dominant position in terms of pushing power. And especially if they can force a couple team fights, I am going to give the advantage over to Red Team in a team fight. This Pantheon doing a very good job of like dueling and 1v1s. Ooh, gets caught out by Morg. Morg not deciding to commit. She does have that ulti. Oh wow, and a nice flash stun. Spell shield able to block it. And it looks like he is going to commit here. Just one more spell shield, and there is the, sorry, one more spear shot, and there's the kill. Morgana really should have used her ulti on Pantheon. Looks like Pantheon is going to have his first. So close. Whoa! Aggro's the minion! I don't exactly know if that was enough to kill, but the Colo did certainly contribute to it. It said invulnerable when he went up there. It looks like he blocked a tick of Ignite. He might have actually lived, which would have been fascinating to see. However, he did land right on a very angry Golem camp who put in a couple of auto attacks. And Pantheon with 141 armor. Don't know how much he had before that, but might have really, Golem buff might have contributed to his first death. Kennen gonna go in. Morg still has her ult. Ooh, Soraka gets taken very low. That could have actually been a good time for Kennen to go in. Even if he died, taking down Soraka's second oracles would have been huge. And it looks like Dragon is up. Not really in a position to do anything about it. Nocturne with red buff. York getting chased, but is quite speedy. Kennen getting found by Nocturne, however, I don't really know about that. Kennen not deciding to pop his ulti. The ulti goes down from Kennen. The ulti not yet going down from Morgana. She still has it up. And maybe going to want to save it and go for a dragon. They're just going to, looks like they're going to disengage, take that kill. Morgana, with her Rod of Ages, is very tanky. You can see her getting into the middle of this team to try and put some hurt down, maybe take away that Oracles. I'm sure had that frost shot, sorry, that volley, applying that frost shot slow. That is quite a tongue twister. Unique New York at all. Maybe Morgana would have decided to commit, however she did not. And it looks like blue team is maybe going to go for the dragon here. The Ash Arrow has been used, the Morgana ult has not. So not a whole lot of CC on the side of red. That is the dragon being picked up. Once again, volley missing, and really, I'd like to see Morgana, ooh, missing the bind. You should really leave your targets a little bit more, especially when you can have a clear picture of where they're going. She kind of just sent it right out towards that Caitlyn. Anyway, so I would like to see here a bit more team fighting from red. I think that even though they're behind, they're partly behind just because this Pantheon is so far ahead, 1500 gold ahead of their jungler. I think with a nice Morg ulti, with some good, you know, an Ash Arrow to initiate, there are two carries, the AD carry and the AP carry. They do have a significant source of magic damage and very good initiation. Knock Morg Ash you can make something out of that. They have all the pieces of the puzzle they need. Now they just have to figure how to put it all together. So let's see. Pantheon, of course, I think I did mention, does fall off a little bit in team fights. Although he is, he does have a huge level advantage over Nocturne. Actually, only 1 level, so he's really not farming creeps. He has equal farm, just a lot more gold being picked up off these kills and these assists. So, but anyway, I still do think. Oh, and the bind finds the Lulu. That is going to be a dead Oracles. I think when you have 800 ping or whatever Kelvin has right now, it is a little bit difficult to get things dodge those skill shots, especially when they come out of Fog of War. Ashe still has arrow now. Morgana still has ulti, and I'd really like to see Red Team make something out of this. Undertow being used to nicely clear creeps off of that turret, so they're not going to make a very good push. Ooh, however, Soraka getting caught. Morg, you got to go in and use your ulti here. Come on, save your teammates. The ulti goes down on all 3. This is what she should have done earlier. Exactly what I'm talking about. Look at that Pantheon, just not able to get anything done. York finding the Ashe in the Fog of War. A nice volley, able to kind of get the slow off. Wow, and Kennen just dropping so fast. There's the kill on York, able to also pick up the double buff. I think very, very tanky. Might be able to even 2v1 this, however, Morg is going to see what she has to say. York, of course, just becomes so strong. Nocturne very low on health. This could actually be turned around by York. This looks like he's just going to run away, though. You can really... Wow, and a nice Lulu ulti onto the York. He does now feel, of course, a lot more confident. Not so valuable because that Olaf is just going to ult away. That Lulu ult doesn't last forever, of course. So we don't actually see a whole lot of value being gained from it. Maybe if the Nocturne got baited by the low health York a bit more, kind of kited them, baited them, and then the Lulu ult came off, just like that very clutch Lulu ult, of course, that we did see earlier down bot. At any rate, Lulu can pick up some nice CS with her glitter lens. Probably gonna have to use a second one because it is only level 1, only doing about 100 damage. However, maybe she's gonna be able to pick up her Shirelia's Reverie, which is actually a big item for supports to pick up. It does cost 550 gold once you have both the Kindle Gem and the Philistone, and it doesn't look like Soraka has picked hers up. She is still 500 gold away. Ping going down onto Baron. I think they know Lulu's bot. Lulu is gonna start heading up, and we shall see how things go. I do think that Morgana is going to maybe carry a team fight for Red Team. We sort of saw that last game. Pantheon just got shut down by that Mortal. She was very, very late to use it. She let her Soraka die. I think the flash ulti on top of them could have been a 5-for-0 exchange even, if they just had that Soraka up to get a couple more spell rotations off. And Morgana really has to be a bit more aggressive with her ulti. She is so far ahead. She's 517. She has a Rod of Ages and a Rabadon's Death Cap completed for about 400 AP. It's crazy. We just actually saw her AP go up a little bit because of that. There's one more tick on the Rod of Ages, which does gain a little bit of AP, mana, and health over time. Caps at 180 health. So she's nearly there. One more tick away, and we will see her getting about 410 total AP from that combo in the next minute or so. Looks like, see, I mean, if they just flash in there, they can totally win a fight. Oh, and there's the Ashe Hour, very nicely connects with Caitlyn. Nocturne going in on Pantheon instead, and look, this Morgana has just spent so much time not putting the ulti down. There's the ulti, doesn't quite hit the Caitlyn, does hit the cannon, and this is why I would prefer to see a Johnny, as she took a lot of damage. The York ulti actually going out on top of the Caitlyn, able to double the damage she deals, and very nicely done from, ooh, and the crit, not quite able to take him down. Very nicely fought from blue team. Caitlyn was actually picked up, but that Ghost able to keep her alive, dealing a significant amount of damage. I think Ashe really played that badly, just got so greedy. You don't go balls deep on Ashe. You kite and you kite and you kite. If you want to play a champ who goes balls deep, play Ezreal, play Corki, play Graves, someone with a lot of mobility who can kind of get in, sort of work almost like an assassin and then get out. But you saw, got so greedy for that that cannon, and is now gonna lose a base turret for it. So if this Ashe is watching the DoD, look at what you gained, nothing. Look at what you lost, a turret and a death. So really, just try and stay alive as Ashe. making a big play is, always feels good, but when you lack the mobility to do so, really your job is just to kite, 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 kite. So very bad fight, I think, from red team. They didn't fight so well. That Morgana waited forever on her ulti, and I hate it when Morganas do this because, I mean, you got to get in on you're a Morgana. You want to CC someone. You have to think 2 seconds ahead of time on your ulti. And by the time that Morgana finally got the stun off, her team was all dead, She just waited a million hours. Also, I would like to see her pick up a Janya's Hourglass so that she can kind of get in there a bit more aggressively. Flash in, ulti, pop the Janya's. Because, I mean, Ashe did get a very nice engage on the Caitlyn, and Morgana just waited too long and lost that advantage they had. At any rate, looks like blue buff has come up. They are going to give that to Morg. She does benefit quite nicely from the ability, the lower cooldown, so the ability to just keep throwing out those binds. Needs to stand a little bit closer to the blue or it will reset, but no, it doesn't matter. That bind will keep them there. I think they might know that both Ashe and Morgana are bot. I think they picked them up on these wards. Morgana went over to blue. So it does look like blue team is going to go for Baron here. Yes, I know, Beltran. Thank you very much. I wouldn't miss something that obvious. Because that would have been a good time because Ashe and Morg weren't there. However, it looks like blue team is going to find the Nocturne, who's very squishy. Don't want to see an overcommit. Oh, and a nice flash, able to chase him down. Caitlyn, not actually doing a whole lot of damage. I guess it was the Soraka armor buff. Morgana gonna stop the Yorick with a nice bind. Oh, gonna get caught. Has to be careful not to use his ulti too early or else he can just get kited. There is a nice ulti from Kennen, able to get onto the Ashe. They are getting very heavily died. And once again, Morgana not using her ulti in these team fights, just able to really let her team get shut down. They were a little bit out of position. They did get caught. They were very split, so it's not entirely Morg's fault. However, I haven't really seen a perfect ulti from her so far. Blue team in a very dominant position. They need to decide whether they want to get an in-hit or Baron. And against Morgana, when they have a low health Kennen and all the cooldowns down, should really go for it. Yorick, by the way, can now put his ulti onto the Caitlyn to deal double damage to kind of just ensure that they get this down really quickly. It's not going to really make a difference. It is on a 70-second cooldown. There you go. It's very nicely played. That is a 75% AD steroid for the champ that you put it on, and it looks like that is going to be picked up. Red team just not in a position to stop it. So that Yorick ulti will of course be back off of cooldown by the time they decide to make a push. Looks like they have 3k gold on Pen, 4.1k on Yorick. Wow. So it looks like he picks up both the Frozen Heart and the Atlas Taylor. So much armor right now. Has 242 armor. Would like to see a Randuin's picked up. I think it's very good against the kite potential of Ashe. I don't really think you need to slow her AS because she doesn't do so much damage. She's more of a utility pick. So really, if you have the chance to shut down Ashe's damage and the chance to shut down utility, in my opinion, you get a lot more out of shutting down her utility by reducing her movement speed. Of course, you do also reduce her attack speed if you get that proc, or if you get that passive. So Randuin's deals, more single target kind of CC. I think it's a much stronger item than Frozen Heart if you have someone actually actively auto-attacking you. And it really is surprising that Frozen Heart is so much more popular than Randuin's own these days. It does synergize nicely with the Manamune though, as it does give you some decent mana. I believe Manamune gives you 1 AD for every 50 mana, which means he not only picks up the 99 armor cooldown reduction AS steroid, but he also gets 10 AD out of it, which is not insignificant. That is how much is that? Someone did the math. I don't know. 296 AD plus 10. So it is a small percentage, but it's there. But yeah, I mean, Frozen Heart just so much more popular than Randuin's these days. I guess the argument is that it's like a passive slow and it affects everyone. But do you really care that Soraka or Morgana are picking up a attack speed debuff? I would much rather put the movement speed and attack speed debuff from Randuin's onto the enemy AD carry or the enemy Nocturne than picking up a Frozen Heart. Obviously, Olaf going to be very affected by either Randuin's or Frozen Heart, but not when he pops his ulti, which means that he is unable to be CC'd at all in any form. Sort of a couple of funny things happen to Olaf if he gets CC'd by certain spells. Malzahar, for instance, he can just run around a Malzahar ulti and it just tethers him, but he doesn't do anything. Alistair Headbutt will just kind of like put Alistair on top of Olaf, and he's like, I ain't even mad. So, at any rate, it does look that, you know, now that blue team has this Baron buff, looks like they actually feel confident to split push. I do like this decision. It looks like they will split push top and bottom. Oh no, actually. Teammates all deciding that they want to go back and spend gold. Really bad coordination from them because half of them had already gone back, half of them didn't. And it's just like, guys, like, we have Baron. So I don't even know what she was able to pick up. I think it's Zeal. So not all that significant. She has a Wriggles and a BB, two items that don't really give damage compared to Ash's PD, IE, and Last Whisper. So even though I think Caitlyn's team is ahead, it does look like Ashe is the dominant AD right now, and it's all going to come down to how well that Ashe can stay alive. Is Morgana going to be able to peel people off of her? Is Soraka going to be able to silence people who try to get on her? And is Soraka going to use that armor buff on her? Because Ashe, without a doubt, throwing out so much more damage than Caitlyn. However, doesn't have the defense that Caitlyn does. So we shall see. You know, just a lot more crit damage and of course a lot more armor pen off of this Ashe. So who knows? 10k gold lead in the favor of blue plus that Baron buff. They are clearly the stronger team. However, a lot of that strength is on Pantheon, who does sort of fall off, and Caitlyn does sort of fall off also. Just in terms of the overall damage she's able to output. However, she is very good in this sort of situation. Able to put down traps, and look at her, just getting in so many auto attacks on the turret, and red team just not understanding what they want to do. Morgana, flash ult, Nocturne ult, there we go, that is what they needed. Pantheon gets taken down. Kennen not going for this Ashe. If you look at this Ashe auto attacking the whole time, this is going to be huge for red team. Caitlyn gets taken very low. Ashe not even kiting, just auto attacking. This could be the first pentakill we see here on m1lkcast. That is a quadra kill. Oh, and just unlucky. Morgana really just like leaving. Nocturne leaving. Just they left her. They left her. I'm really not happy with the team play I've seen from this Morg. Really. She's too passive. I mean, Ashe did. That was the funniest thing about it. It's so rare that you see an Ashe standing still and auto attacking. It's like you have to get it on the Ashe. Kennen was standing here. Ashe was here. Kennen was like, oh, a team fight, and ran over to the left and just got auto attacked. It could have been the first penta we've seen here in m1lkcast, and instead Morgana really just sort of dropping the ball. Too reluctant to get in there. You know, Nocturne. Nocturne and Ashe just got kind of 2v1'd by the 1v2'd by the Yorick, who is now so beefy and has so much armor, but only 108 MR. And you know, if the Morg had got in there and kind of even just body blocked for the Ashe, I think Ashe did get a little bit too overconfident. She wasn't kiting at all through that fight. She pretty much just A-clicked in the middle of the enemy team. But yeah, I mean, you know, maybe if she had not gone in melee range, if she had done a better job of kiting. However, that Yorick with 242 armor. Ashe does have 46 armor pen. That's the combination of the Last Whisper, which gives you 40%, and the Masteries, which give you 10%. It's not 50% because they do stack multiplicatively, so it's actually 60%. Sorry, 0.6 times 0.9 is 40.54, which is equal to 46 penetration. So the math is a little bit weird. There are great explanations online if you want to look up on the LoL wiki. The armor penetration page and the magic penetration page really give you a very good idea of the math behind how it works. At any rate, we can actually do the math here while we are waiting. So the effective amount of armor that Yorick has is going to be 54% of 240, which is around 120. So you do, the equation is 100 divided by brackets 100 plus effective armor equals, and then brackets close, equals the total amount. Baroness popped, by the way. Anyway, so that is going to be about 100 over 100, sorry, 240, which is equal to about 50% damage reduction on top of what Ashe is doing. So these creeps have 0 armor. If we see her do an IE crit, we'll see how much true damage, like how much her total crit potential is. And then we pretty much cut that in half, and that is how much damage she will crit Yorick for. So I'm going to say about 250 to 300 damage on an Infinity Edge crit on Yorick right now. And considering his 4k HP and that frozen part to reduce the amount of attack speed Ashe has, it is going to take a very long time for her to kill. I don't know what red team is doing. Get in position to get the kill down. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to even want to fight this, which I just find so strange. Your AD carry just got a freaking quadra kill, guys. Come on. You have Morgana, Olaf, Nocturne, Soraka able to keep you alive. And ooh, a nice ward binding there. Might not be enough. No red buff being picked up. Soraka actually splitting. And Ashe needs to be careful. She doesn't have any escapes. I think her flash might also be down. Banshee Veil being popped on Yorick. Not going to be that significant. However, they have just lost a turret. A little bit unfortunate for red team. I think they just weren't able to pull it. They do have, without a doubt, the stronger team fight comp. Especially if they can get a pick. If they can get a good Ashe arrow or a good Morg ulti. And people like Pantheon really not as valuable. However, we do see a 6-item Yorick. With 242 armor, 138 magic resistance, 4k HP, 319 armor. Sorry, AD. Oh, actually going in onto the Caitlyn. There we go. That is a very good cannon ult. That's what we want to see. Morgana still not using her ulti. She's gonna die without it even going off. Very bad play from her right there. I really do hope she watches this VOD. She has seen some nice plays. However, she just really is not doing a good job with that ulti. Nicely done from Pantheon to pick up the kill. Looks like a very well done from Caitlyn to kind of kite there. Very good game from both teams. I honestly, I don't mean to be too harsh on Morgana. It is just a little frustrating for me to see just really not the best team fight coordination here. Very well played by all means by both teams, especially that Ashe able to almost pick up the first pentakill of m1lkcast that we would have seen today. I was sitting on the edge of my seat in anticipation, and especially down bot here, we saw such a fantastic number of plays. Pantheon and Lulu able to survive seemingly forever down there, and Yorick just really able to be such a dominant kind of tank, meat shield, whatever in this game. So very, very, very well played for both teams. I really do hope that Morgana is able to watch this VOD just to see from my perspective how passive she was being, sitting at full health at range pretty much every team fight. And I totally think that it could have gone a different way had she really got in there and used that ulti to its fullest advantage. By the way, if you're a Morg player and you find yourself in a similar situation of like, oh, I'm afraid to go in, I might die, get a Johnny's Hourglass. It is so valuable because if you aren't using that Morg ulti to get it down on all 5 people and go for the full team stun, you're really not playing her correctly. So anyway, very nicely played. I think Nocturne, by the way, I didn't really like the Yumu's pick. He was just too squishy. This is the second or third game we've seen a Nocturne build a Yumu's and then just get obliterated in team fights. Either a Warmog, a Frozen Mallet. That Randuin's was a very good buy. I saw him get in on the Caitlyn with his ulti and then pop it in her face. Very, very nicely done there. However, I think the Yumu's, he dropped about 2.2k gold into that Yumu's Ghostblade, and it didn't really give him anything because he didn't stick around auto-attacking people. He didn't survive long enough to get the auto-attacks off in team fights. So honestly, I think a little bit of tankiness would have been a lot better. At any rate, very nicely played. Some fantastic plays from both teams in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and say GGWP. I really recommend that everyone watch this game again on the VOD on YouTube. Check out, I think, 18 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, we saw a fantastic play. One of the best we've seen so far in m1lkcast, so go ahead and check that out. I'm going to go ahead and end this recording. I'm also going to grab yet another cream soda because it really is the sweet nectar of the gods. At any rate, GGWP. Be sure to tune into our next game. We're going to keep the stream going for more interesting games, 5v5 games. Here we go. Thank you very much for watching.